Right. So what was this? Now, when you have a browser, let us say this is a browser. When you have a browser, when I click on this, when I keep a cursor on this, what is happening? Event is fired. Now, when the event is fired, the JavaScript is going to handle it. When the JavaScript is handling, it is going to write the logic what to perform when the event occurs. Now, when I click on this, what should happen? When I click on this, what should happen? What is that? On the browser. Now, at the end of the game, where you are displaying the data? On the browser. On the browser, on any element, if an event is fired, automatically JavaScript is going to be fired. JavaScript is going to handle it. Now, what we are discussing is not browser specific events, lightning specific events. In the lightning, we are going to discuss about two types of events. So, what are they? In the lightning, what are the events we have? Component events and application events. It's just like publish and subscribe model. It's just like a publish and subscribe model. So, what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about component events and application level events. First, let me give you overview. What is this component level events? What is this application level events? Then we dig into concept. When I say component level events, component 1, component 2. Component 1 will fire. Component 1 will fire the event. Component 2 will handle the event. So, one component will fire, another component will handle. So, fire, handle method. One component will fire, second component will handle it. One component will fire, second component is going to handle it. So, one fires, other one is going to handle. Now, when I say component level event, what will happen? Look at the point. I have parent component, now child component will fire the event. Child component will fire the event. Child component will handle the event. One of the method is child component will fire the event. Child component only will handle the event. Child component will fire the event. Child component only will handle the event. You fire, you only handle. You fire, you only handle. This structure is available where? Component level events. In the component level events, child component will fire and child component only handle it. The second structure. The second structure that is available is what is the first structure we have seen? Component. Child will fire. Child will fire and child will handle. The same component, the child component is going to fire as well as it's going to handle. Both are done in the same component. The component which is firing the event, same component is handling the event. Second one is parent component. So, what is the structure here? Child will fire the event and parent will handle. Parent component will fire the event, The parent component will handle it. Child component will fire the event, parent component will handle it. So the component which fired the event, the same component can handle, or the component which fired the event, it's a parent component can handle it. Are you getting my point? Let us say I have one more. Try to understand the concept. This is a parent, child 1, child 2. Now, child 1 fired event. Who can handle it? Child 1 fired the event. Who can handle it? Either child 1 can handle it or parent can handle it. Siblings cannot handle the element which is the event which is fired by this cannot be handled by this. The event which is fired by this, it can handle or its parent can handle. So this type of events are called component level events. I hope you got my point. Right? Component which you fired the event, the same component can handle it, or its a parent component can handle it. Right? It is a component level events. I hope you followed the point. I hope you followed the point. This child component fired, the child component only handle it, no problem. Whichever the component fired, the same component handled it, no problem. Second one, child component fired, parent component handled it. If the child component fired, that particular child one can handle it or parent can handle it. Siblings cannot handle it. So event fired by this cannot be handled by this or this. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear? This is what? Component level events. I hope you are good with this. Basic theme is clear. We'll do the example, then we see how it can be. But basic concept is clear. Everyone is followed? Next, let us go to application level events. When I say application level events, now child 1 fired the event. When the child 1 fired the event, who can handle it? Child 2 can handle, child 1 can handle, child 2 can handle, child 3 can handle, parent can handle. So it can be handled by anyone, your siblings or your parent or the element. If the event fired on the child 1, it can be handled by child 1, child 2, child 3 or the parent. So in the component level, the element which fired the event, that element, that component or it is a parent component can handle. The source component and the parent component. Source component and the parent component. Whereas the application level event, the element which fired, source component can handle it, its siblings can handle it, or its parent can handle it. This is application level. It's just like a publish, subscribe. Now child 1 published. Whoever is subscribing, all of them get the corresponding action handle. Now I am publishing it. Whoever is subscribing me, all of them will get the corresponding handlers. So application means when a component fire, whichever the component is handling it, they will get the corresponding structure. So which can be that? Any component. Application level means, application event means, it can be any component which handles it. I hope you are good. Concept is clear. Basically concept is clear. Everyone has followed this? Okay. Now, here, let's understand some technical terms here. We'll use some technical terms. Where was that? Services. Now, communicating with. Basically, why are you using this? Why are you using these events? These are used to communicate between the components and exchange the data. Component 1 want to exchange the data with component 2. Component 2 want to exchange the data with component 3. When components want to exchange the data between them, when you want to exchange the data between the components, or when you want to two components to communicate with each other to exchange the data, we will go for events. So what are the events? What are the events? We read the events for what? We read the events for what? We read the events to communicate between the components. Okay. Now, how will you define event? How will you define events? So when you are going for events, there are two terms. One is fire, other one is handle. There are two events. What are they? One is fire, other one is handle. Now look at this. How are you? What are the technical terms that we have? Actions, fire, handle. What is a fire? What is handle? Then some technical terms are there. We'll see one by one. First, let us look at this. How many types of events are there? Component events, application events. Now, if it is a component, we say .cmp. If it is a controller, component name controller.js. Helper, component helper.js. CSS, component style.css. Now, similarly, if it is an event, we are going to get .evt. How did you define components? All the components will start with URA component. How did you define applications? All the applications started with the URA application. Similarly, all your events will start with URA event. All the events will start with the URA event. All the events will start with what? URA event. All the events will start with URA event. Right. What is the extension name? What is the extension name? Events. Communicate. Exchange the data. Between the components. There are two types of events. What are they? Component level. Second one, application events. All the events are defined. And using URA event. Extension name of event. Extension name for event are .evt. Right, Amma? Now, when you are going for the events, let us see the technical terms. Actions, events. Now, when an action occurs on the element, it will fire the JavaScript. JavaScript will fire the event. Now, event is not directly fired. Either it is a component event or a application event. How the events are fired? Look at the structure. Everyone, try to understand this example. I have a lightning component where I have name. I have some data like this. Submit. So, on this button, how do I write? URA, or I will go with lightning button label equal to submit. On click. So, is it what? Browser specific event. When the event is occurring on this element, When a browser specific event is occurring on this element, when I click on this, what will be happening? What will happen? It will call JavaScript. Component, event, right. So when you click on the button, JavaScript is called. From the JavaScript, call the component or application event file. When you click on a button, browser specific event is fired, which is calling a JavaScript. Whenever a browser specific events are fired, it will call a JavaScript. From the JavaScript, what I am doing, I am calling a component level event or a application level event, and I am firing it. So how the events are fired? On the component. When you design a component will be displayed on the browser. On the browser, when an event occurs, on click, on focus, on blur, then automatically what will happen? JavaScript will be called. When JavaScript is called, from the JavaScript, I am invoking a component level event or a application level event. We are firing it. So when you click on a button, event will not fire. These are not these regular events. What you are saying? On click, on focus, on change, on blur. Okay, on double click, on mouse over, on mouse out. These are not regular. They are browser specific event. Whenever a browser specific events are fired, it will call a JavaScript. Now, application level events are a component level events are fired from JavaScript. You have to call a JavaScript. From the JavaScript, we are calling component level or application. So, will the event fire JavaScript? Not your application level or a component level. Application level events or component level events are not fired when you click on elements. When you click on any elements or any browser specific event occurs, they will call a JavaScript. From the JavaScript controller, we are calling application level event or a component level event. I hope I am clear. Am I clear with this? Right. So when you click, when you double click, when you mouse over, your component level events are fired? No. What will be fired? Client side controllers are called. When you call a client side controller, then we are going to get JavaScript. In the JavaScript, we are going to fire component level events. Once it is fired, another component is going to handle it. This is going to fire, another component is going to handle it. I hope you are good with this. You got an idea? Clear? Okay. Let us see how to define events. How you define? Yes.
Satish, your query is like whenever we do a on-click event or whatever, it is going to call the respective controller, right? That controller is going to call the real component or application events.
Yes.
And that is going to be handled by the other components, right?
Now, let us see how event is defined. File, new, then we have lightning, file, new, lightning. Till now we are working with the lightning application, lightning component. Now we are going with lightning event. Go to lightning event. I am giving here first. Then when I create an event, look at this. First event dot evt. Now we are going to get event type is application or component. Default is application. So what we are going to do? Look at this structure. This component is used So define component level events or application level events. What is the navigation that we are finding? What is the navigation for this? What is the navigation? Developer console, file, new, lightning events. Step 1, enter the name and save. Type of event and attributes. So in the event, we can define attributes. First, let us understand how to define event. Then we will see how to file an event. Then we will see how to handle it. Then we see different category of events. The sequence order is there. Now, so if it is a case, how you define? If it is the event, type equal to component. What is the message you are getting here? Now we are getting, okay, default value. What is the default value you are getting here? What is the default value you are getting here? Default value is application. Then what I'm getting here? Name. So if you want to define application level events, nothing new. You are going to define your event type equal to description. Only the default, the changes here, component, here we are giving application. That is only the difference. Now it is a component level event, type equal to component, application level event, type equal to application. Right. Now, when you are defining an event, we can define attributes for the event. For event, we can define attributes. Events, we can define attributes. For the events, we can define the attributes. How we are defining the attributes? How you define attributes? In the component, in the application, how you are defining? Name of the attribute, type of the attribute. Same story repeats here. Nothing new. So you are go for this. What you are supposed to do? Type equal to then I'm defining attributes. your attribute. So I can define component event with the attributes. So how the attributes are created within the event, we are creating attribute. So basic story, either is a component or a application. Type equal to component or application. If you want to define any attributes, we are defining it. Okay. Now, how do you associate this event with a component? Events are defined separately. Now, one component has to fire, another component has to handle it. How do you associate component with events? Now, previously, like a button we created, click on button, corresponding JavaScript call, but it is not now a button, it is a separate event. We are defining the event separately. How do you associate this event with a component? How do you associate this component and event? Now, for this, you're going to have register the events. How to register? How to register the events? We are going to use, if you want to register the event, we are supposed to define register event. Then we have type namespace colon. So how do you register an event? Register event, name any unique name of your choice, and we are going to use that name in the scripting. Then we are going to have type namespace colon event name. Namespace colon event name. Namespace colon event name. Register the event. How do you register? Register event, name any unique name you can give, type equal to namespace colon event name. If you don't have any namespace, C colon. If you have any namespace colon event name. As of now, we didn't create any namespace, so we use C colon event name. I hope you are clear. Okay. Now, how to fire the event? You are registering this. How to fire the event? So, try to understand this. One child component I am creating. Component. Component. Here I am going to give register event. C colon. What is the first name? First event. First name of the event. Name of the event created. Whatever the event we have created, there is a name of the component. There is a name of the component. Whatever the event we created, name of the component. Name of the event. So within this component, we are registering an event called first event. But that event should be fired. From where that event should be fired? We have to fire that event. So how do you fire the event? Submit. On click. C dot. So when you click on this, what will happen, boss? When you click on this, what will happen? JavaScript will be called. So register the event. Register the event. Name of the this is first call. Type is what? I gave here first event dot event. Are you clear about this? Now, how do you fire it? Next, how to fire the event? Already again how to fire the event. Okay. Then we are going to define structure. How do you define the structure? Component dot event. Right. Now here, what is the name of the event? First call. So get the event. Get the event with the name first call. Get the event with the name first call. How do you get the name event with the name called first call? Where event equal to component dot get event you want to fire it. Get that event, fire the event. So when you click on the button, what is happening? Show method is getting called. From the show method, what I am doing? I am firing the event. Get the event, fire the event. Get the event, fire the event. Are you getting my point here? Are you clear? Are you clear? Do you follow my point? When is this event called? When a button is clicked, JavaScript is called. From JavaScript, what we are doing? Firing the event. I hope you are good with this. Everyone has followed? Clear? Am I clear? Okay. Then, boss, in case if the event has any attribute, how do you set the attributes? If event has any attributes, how do you set the values of an attribute? Now I have given an event without any attributes. Suppose if you have any event with an attribute, how do you set the values of an attribute? Right. Till here, everyone has followed? Everyone has followed? Right. Now, what happened? When I clicked on the button, JavaScript is called. In the JavaScript, get the event, fire the event. In the JavaScript, get the event, fire the event. I hope you are good. Okay. Now, how do you set the values of an attribute? Next one is, how do you set the values of an attribute? Next we had right. So look at this. We have a method set param set param key value pair. Parameters will be passed like a map. Second method is set params. Used to set parameters. Then we have, how do you read the parameters? Because it's a key value pair. If you give a key, it will give you the value. If you give value of the alright, Amma. I hope you are good. So let me define a quick example here. Let me define a quick example. Let me show in terms of example. So here we already have application. Here I am giving component. So here we had event. Here we had a event. So let us go to the next. I want to create a component. Here was. No issue. So let me save it later. Come back to the component. I'll create lightning component. First I'll create child component. How do you register? Yura event name. First of all, type equal to. Do you have any namespace? No namespace. First have Yura Zero show. This is clear, right? Now I have clicked on controller. I was supposed to fetch the event. What is the name? First, I give cap only, right? C capital. Set the attributes. How do you set the attribute values? EVT dot key value pair. Then fire the event. How do you fire the event? So I have created a component dot get the event, set the parameter, fire the event. So child component has fired it. Till here it is good. Now how do you handle it? If a child component is fired, parent component has to handle it. How the parent component will handle? Yura handler. Yura handler. Name equal to event c dot. Then we have action. Action means when this component is handling it, it is handling. Handling means when the event is fired, this component will perform some action. When that event is fired there, this component has to capture and make some logic. What is the logic you want to define? Action. Now, when the event is fired in the child, parent is handling. When the parent is handling, automatically what will happen? Invoke method is called. When the event is fired on the child, automatically invoke method on the parent is fired. When the event is fired on the child, automatically invoke on the parent is fired. So let us define. Now, this parent component has to handle it. If you want to handle it, what I was supposed to do? Where name equal to event dot, that event fired. Which event? Event dot get param emp name. Then what you want to do? C dot Then I'm giving some attributes also. Raw attribute name equal to now child component is a child of this component, right? So what I was doing here, what is the attribute name I gave? My name. To cross check, what I will do, I'll give right. So we had parent component 1, child component, and we want to run this. If I want to run this, what I require? An application. If you observe this, is the child component is printing any value? Child component, what it has done? Register the event, click the button. Only button they have given. So who is printing the value? Parent component. First, to understand the basic example you are taking. Go for a preview. So go back to the parent component, have a preview. This is what we got here. Click on submit. We are guessing name equal to Satish Mala. Where is the name printed? If you look at the component, in the parent component, I am defining name VP. Where I am giving? In the parent component. But when you click on the button, what is happening? Show method. So what the show method is doing? Firing an event. The event that is fired by the child, that is handled by the parent. So whatever the value that you pass from chair, that is taken in the parent is using the data. Whatever the data that child has fired, the data has come to parent is using it. Are you getting my point? So data is exchanged between child component to parent component. So how are you handling? Yura handler, name of the name. At the time of registering an event, whatever the name we gave, the same name we have to give. Then C dot, then action. Action is when you are handling, what is the logic you want to perform. I hope I am clear. Previously, someone is asking a query on the handler, right? Am I clear with this? Someone from online has asked me a question regarding the handler. Is that was clear now?
Yes,
right. Okay.
Satish, can I summarize this like registering is nothing but subscribing to the event, and publishing is nothing but firing this event from the parent.
See,
is that correct?
Now the point is subscribe, publish, and subscribe means what? Subscribe and publish. When you publish only, subscription will happen, right? When you fire only, somebody can handle. So when you fire, somebody can handle it. Fire is like publish. When you publish, if I publish any video in the YouTube, somebody will subscribe. After subscribing, will you get a video, or after uploading the video, will you subscribe? First I have to upload the video, then you subscribe the video. So first I have to fire, then you will handle. So first the child will fire, then only parent will handle. So it is a publish subscribe model, but subscribe means what? Anybody who subscribes will get response. But here everybody cannot subscribe. Only parent element can subscribe. Right? When it's a publish subscribe model, if anybody who is subscribing will get result, they will get result. But in this case, not everyone who is subscribing will get a result. Only parent element will get a result. I hope you are clear. Component level is not Component level is not like publish and subscribe. It is like a bubble and capture. It is like a bubble and capture concept. Bubble and capture concept. Basically, what is that bubble concept? What is the bubble concept? Generalized concept, bubble. Right? If you get a bubble in the water bottle, then what will happen? It moves to the top. The bubble will be generated at the bottom, but it will be moving to the top. So, right? So, event is created at the lowest level. Okay, that is handled by its parent. It is handled by its parent. It is handled by its parent. Its parent. Its parent. Finally, root. Capture. When you want to capture at the bottom, I cannot capture. I'll capture the top first, top to second, second to third, third to fourth. While capturing, I'll come from top to bottom. While firing, I'll fire from bottom to top, like a bubble capture model. Component level events are like a bubble capture. Bubble will be generated at the bottom. It goes to the next level, next, like that top. But while you are capturing the bubble, which is on the top, okay, bubbles, I have to take the first top bubble, below, below. So it is bottom to top capture. Directly from the lowest to top it will come. From top I will come back to lower. When it's a bubble, lower to top, top to top, top to top, like that we goes. Something like this. So what happened? Event. This will fire event 1. This is handled by capture. And this is captured by this is event 1. Then what happened? Subshell can handle event 1. This can handle. You fire, this handled by top. Top is handled by next. Next is next. This goes like this. Capture means, when I say capture, from here, directly it goes to from top, parent to child capture, child to subchild capture, subchild to bubble means bottom to top. So event generated by this is handled by top. Event generated by this is handled by top. When I lowest generate the event, its top element will fire. Okay, handle it. Its top element will handle it. Its top element will handle it. Right, boss? This is called as bubble capture. So probably you find some theory also here. Let me. When you go to component events, component event propagation. So what is the concept we are having? The phases are capture, bubble. Capture, bubble. So what is the bubble? Component that fired the event can handle it. The event then bubbles up from the source component to the application root. So when an event is fired by a source component, then it goes to bubbles to the root, child to the root, root to the root, root to the root. Are you getting my point? It's a bubble. Capture. Event is captured and trickles down from the application root to source component. Capturing is done from top to bottom. Capturing is done from top to bottom. Bubbling is done from the bottom. When a bubble is fired, it is handled by the root element. When a bubble is fired, it is handled by the root element. Root element's bubble is handled by its root element. Its root element. Are you getting my point? So what is this model? What is this model? Bubble capture. So component event is fired, then bubble framework execute the bubble phase from the source component and it goes to the root. Are you getting my point? If I don't want to go to my root, okay, my child fired, now I am handling it. I don't want to bubble to the next level. I will say stop propagation. When I say stop propagation, bubbling to the top will be stopped at the middle level. At the bottom, if something is fired, goes to next. Hierarchy it goes. I don't want to go to the top of the hierarchy. I want to stop it at some level. Then we are going to say stop propagation. Okay. This is just discussed as somebody has asked me, what is subscribe or publish? It is not a subscribe or publish. It is a bubble and a capture. Okay. Application level events are subscribe and publish. So publish and subscribe. Whereas this is bubble and capture. I hope you are good. People followed this. Clear, boss? Am I clear? Somebody from online. Am I clear with this?
Yes, sir, this clear.
Now let us go back. How you handle it? Where is the bug? Somewhere I have given the bug. So I was supposed to define handlers. Unknown component ERA event. Where was that ERA event? Anywhere on the top I have given ERA event. Lot of comments. No issue with that. Let me go ahead with the next one. How to define the handler, how to pass. Then it is not the end of the game. We are supposed to, we just seen how to fire, how to handle. This is the bug actually. Because of this, we got the issue. So let us go to the next one. How to define the handlers and how to control it. Now, what is the component that we have? Apart from this, where else we have used this handler? Tell me. At some other location also we have used a handler. Tell me what is that location? At some other location also we have used.
During initialization.
Yeah, exactly. At the time of initializing it. At the time of initializing it, we have used the handler. At the time of initializing it, we have used a handler. There was a bug, boss. Okay. Now, if you don't provide any attribute, what will be there? If you don't have any attributes, no need to pass the parameter. Now, if you have attribute, you set the data. Otherwise, when event is fired, you want some automated action should be performed. When you click on this button, I want some action to be performed on the parent component. I want some action to be performed on the parent component. Okay. Let us go to the next one, handler. Just trying to type the notes on the Visual Force. We had some comment always coming out here. You find somewhere event, ERA colon event, where is that? Line number? This is not the problem. Okay. This is what is the issue. Only after removing we are able to find. So let me define handler. So your handler will have what are the elements it is going to have? When the event is fired, it has to be handled by the parent component. So how you define your handler? Name given action. So what is the name one? It is the exact name given at the time of name of the event register. Method name. Client said action that need to be fired. I hope you are good with this, right, Amma? I hope you are good with this. Okay, you can refer to the program. So what is the program that you have given? Let the
Okay.
duration increase.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So, if we have a parent, a child, and subchild, and the thing is like for the parent, it has to be child or subchild. I mean, we need to mention in the component.
Did you understand what?
Basically,
Did you
subchild,
understand what did you ask?
yeah, sub,
Did you understand what you asked?
yeah. Basically, yeah. The thing is like if we have three layers, so do we need to mention the root
See,
element in the
now
parent or
element which
subchild?
is firing the event. Now, where that element is required, that is called parent. Within a component, I am calling a component, another component which is firing an event. Any component which is firing an event, if you are defining within me, you are a child for me. Within a component, if you are calling another component, it is what? Child component. Whether you fire the event or not, within a component, if you call another component, it is what? Child component. As simple as that. Now, are you calling any child components here? Now, your register event is a child component of this component. Now, whatever the custom component I have created, am I calling in this? This is called child component. Is it calling any custom components within this? No custom components. So it is only independent element. Then I have next. Let me give you. What is the script we call? Now we have component 2. What is the name of the component? Parent component. Now look at the definition of this component. Look at the definition of this component. Now, within this component, what I am calling? C colon child component. Now, C colon child component is a child of this component. Within this component, I am calling this component. Right? Within this component, I am calling this component. So, this is a child, this is a parent. That's why we are calling child parent. Right, Amma?
So if we have one more parent, then we need to
See,
call the root
now I
element
told
in that, right?
it's a bubble capture format. Child fired, parent handle. You want that its parent also to handle? We can write it. I told bubble format. What is the meaning of bubble? Child fired, parent handle. Its parent also want to handle? Yes, he can do it. Top the hierarchy it can handle, no problem. That's what the bubble concept is, right? Did you get my point, Amma?
Yeah. Yeah.
Query is clarified?
I mean the root, this child component we need to declare in the parent too as well, right?
See, root, parent. You want to say that. You want to convey this message. This is a root component. Right. This is the structure what you are asking me, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this element fired the event. When it fired the event, it can handle it.
Yes, it can handle it.
Now this component firing any event,
No.
child fired, child fired, this handle. This fired, this will handle. So event fired by this can be handled by parent, can be handled by root also. Event fired by child can be handled by parent, can also be handled by root. Do you get my point? The ultimate independent component is what? Child. Event is fired on child. If child fired an event, its parent is handled. Its parent is also handled. C dot parent
Okay.
boss. C dot parent.
Yeah, yeah.
In the C dot parent we have
So,
C dot child.
yeah. Okay. Okay, got it.
Right. Now, this is what I have given. So I hope I am clear with this structure. Now, this is only the basic operation that we have done. This is only the basic operation. This is only the basic operation what we have done. I told you already, event fired by the component, component itself can handle it. If an event fired by me, I can handle myself. If the event is fired by me, I can handle myself. So let me give a quick example. Now child component. So who fired it? Same component is firing, same component is handling. This component is firing and the same component is handling it. But when this event will be fired, I am taking a button. It's not always button. Okay, you can take any with respect to your context. So what was that attribute? Now in this context, look at the context here. So component is firing, the same component is trying to handle it. So define show and invoke. First invoke I am calling. Was that where component get event, get the event 1. You want to set the parameter. So when you click on the button, this function is called, this function is calling, this function is firing event. What this is doing? So what happened in this case? When you click on the button, JavaScript is called, that JavaScript is firing. When the event is fired, automatically handler will be handling it. When you are handling, what is the action we want to perform? C dot show. Force SLDS, if you keep, the structure will get it. What happened? So the same component fired, same component handled. That's what I told. Component event means the component which fired the event, the same component can handle it, or its parent component can also handle it. That's what is a component level event. We'll see better examples when you go to use cases. So once I complete, I'll be going with the server side controller and doing the use cases in the next session. But basic theme is clear for everyone. Basic theme is clear for everyone. So what is happening? Define an event. First, in the component 1, register an event. When any event occurs on the browser level elements, then JavaScript is called. JavaScript is firing component event. Then the parent component or the same component itself can handle it and perform the action what you want to do. But basically, these are exchanging the data or functionalities. Communication between the components for exchanging the data. I hope you are good. Right, boss? So that's all from my end for the day. We'll continue tomorrow.